Hello, friends. I'm Chris. I'm from Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness. And in this practice, we're going to bring you our Stability Meets Mobility shoulder sequence. We'll be recording this in the host site of one of our partners, Yoga on the Brazos. What I think you'll need to be safe and to get the most out of your practice tonight, you can see behind me, I have a sticky mat. I have an older body. My joints need a little bit more cushioning, so I have a bit of a thicker mat. So choose the mat that's right for your body. And I recommend that you have 2 yoga blocks. So pause your recording, gather up your materials, and then press start. I'll meet you on your mat here in just a moment. All right, friends, we'll get started, and I'll have you start, if you would, in Anahatanasana, puppy dog pose. So to find this pose, one good entrance point I find is from tabletop. So if you come into tabletop, then walk your hands about 3 handprints forward. Now the goal is your hips will stay floating over your knees. In practice, they may scoot forward a little bit. They may scoot back. That's okay. Lower your heart or your forehead down to the earth. Now, one particular area of sensation to note in this shape is if you're getting a pinching sensation in the tops of your shoulders. This is one particular area I'll often cue you, like push into discomfort a little bit, not here. Pinching in the shoulder means place a block under your heart, lift your heart up a little bit higher. But if you've got no pinching in the shoulders at all, feel free to just lay your heart down toward the earth. Start to lengthen out your breath. And we're going to start with a reading from chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita. This is divine manifestations. The blessed Lord said, "Listen further, Arjuna, to these words that delight your heart. This is my utmost teaching, which I tell you for your greatest good. Neither the myriad gods nor any of the sages know my origin. I am the source from which gods and sages emerge. Whoever knows me is the unborn, the beginningless, the great Lord of all worlds. He alone sees truly and is freed from all harm. Understanding and wisdom, patience, truth, peace of mind, pleasure and pain, being and non-being, fear and courage, non-violence, equanimity, control, benevolence, fame, dishonor. All these conditions come forth from me alone. The 7 primeval sages, the 4 progenitors from whom all human beings descend, arose from my own depths, mind-born. He who can understand the glory of my manifestations is forever united with me by his unwavering love. I am the source of all things, and all things emerge from me. Knowing this, wise men worship by entering my state of being, thinking and speaking of me, enlightening one another, their lives surrendered to my care. They're always serene and joyous. To those who are steadfast, who love me with true devotion, I give the yoga of understanding, which will bring them to where I am. Acting with deep compassion from within my own being, I dispel all ignorance-born darkness with wisdom's resplendent light. Start to add that whisper sound, that ocean quality to your breath, your ujjayi breath. Arjuna said, "You, Lord, are the supreme freedom, the supreme abode, the eternal person, the primordial God, all-pervading, birthless." This is how the great sages describe you, the divine Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, and now you confirm it. Everything you have told me, Krishna, I believe is true. Neither the gods nor the demons can grasp your infinite forms. You alone know yourself through yourself. Lord of all beings, cause and origin, master of the universe, God of gods. Tell me now, in detail, the divine self-manifestations by which you pervade these worlds and grace them with so much splendor. How can I know you, Krishna? Which of your many forms should I visualize, Lord of Yoga, as I focus my thoughts on you? Give me some further examples of your glorious manifestations, for I never can tire of hearing your life-giving, honey sweet words. All right, so if you're practicing at home or practicing through a recording, you can start your playlist now. From your puppy dog pose, rather than muscling out of it, what I'd ask you to do, just start rocking the crown of your head forward toward the top edge of your mat. Shift the weight into your forearms, transition to Sphinx pose. Floating your shoulders over your elbows. Walk your legs long behind you. Press into the shoelace parts of your feet enough that your knees lift. Drag your elbows back towards your waist. And soften your belly. Soften, soften, soften. From here, lower your heart down to the earth. Goalpost your right arm out to the side. So your right shoulder is in line, your right elbow is in line with your right shoulder. Right finger is reaching for the stars. Place your left on your left shoulder. And then start your right hand. Right. Into your left hand right now. We're going to separate the right arm, right elbow down. Pressing to the left hand. All of that muscular engagement. And then roll back onto your belly. And then we'll change sides. Tee your left arm out to the side. Bring your right hand under your right shoulder. Rest your left temple on the earth. And on your next inhale, press into your right hand. Lift your right shoulder. Lift the whole right side of your body. And start pressing every part of your left arm that's in contact with the mat firmly down into the earth. Release all of that muscular engagement in your left arm. Roll back onto your belly first, and then roll over onto your right side. Grab a block and set up into like a forearm side plank. Your right shoulder floating over your right elbow. Take your block, place it under your rib cage. So we're avoiding the armpit this time. So the edge of the block closest to you is firmly in the rib cage. The edge furthest away is just barely in the armpit. And then left hand comes down to the mat between your torso, the left edge of your mat, just enough that you can release. You slide your right forearm forward, release the right hand side of your head and face into your hand. So we're looking here for a threshold between discomfort and pain. It's probably not going to feel great. But I also am not looking for it to be painful. So if it's painful, press your left hand into your mat or your block. Lift yourself up a little bit. Maybe slide your heart closer toward the left-hand edge of your mat. And then feel that block really trigger point into the serratus anterior. And then maybe press the back of your heart toward the right-hand edge of your mat. Ooh. So this is a shoulders class today, and that block just dug into my teres minor, right? One of 4 muscles associated with the rotator cuff complex. Tear was a poor verb, friends. It just pressed into it in a little bit uncomfortable way. Release your left hand down to the mat, right hand down to the mat. Lift up, slide your block out of the way. Come back onto your right side, and then slide your right elbow forward so it's 45 degrees from your torso. Bring the palm of your right hand to face the earth so your right thumb is almost touching your chest. You could release your right ear down to your right bicep if you like. Set, not press, but set your left hand on the back of your right hand. Just a little bit of additional weight to draw the palm of your right hand closer down toward the earth. So everybody getting something in the top and front of the right shoulder? Okay, good, good, good. Looks good, you guys. Ooh, release your left hand down to the earth. Maybe reach your arms up over your head, roll over onto your left side. And start this the same way in sort of that left forearm plank. Tuck the block into your rib cage, the edge furthest away, just barely in your armpit. Walk that left elbow out a little further away from your face. Ooh, and then release the left hand side of your head and face into your left hand. So if you want a little less sensation or it's tough to balance, one other option is to put a bend in your knees. Yeah, or a blanket over the block might be a welcome addition too. Remember, friends, the goal here is discomfort short of pain. So if you're getting pain, if it's painful, reduce the sensation some way. That's the job of the right hand. All right, bring your right hand down to the mat, release your left hand down, lift up, remove your block, lower back down onto your left side, and then left elbow out at 45 degrees. Draw your left thumb in almost so you're touching your chest. Palm of your left hand faces the earth, and place your right hand on the back of your left hand. So we're going to be working on a balance of some mobilizing movements for the shoulder complex today and some stabilizing exercises. But I would exercise some discretion. As always, if we get into something that just doesn't feel good, I wouldn't do it. Release your right hand, let your left arm lay long, and then press up into a tabletop shape. Floating your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Make the back of your head buoyant for now, so roughly in line with the back of your heart. We'll do some rhomboid push-ups. The arms will stay straight. On an inhale, release just your chest down toward the earth. Feel the space between your shoulder blades close together. And then exhale, puff the space between your shoulder blades up toward the stars. And here, if you like, release your chin to your chest. Inhale, drop just your chest down toward the earth. Space between your shoulder blades now closes up as if you were holding a pencil. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, drop your heart down toward the earth. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Come back into a neutral spine position, and then on an inhale, drop your belly down toward the earth. Lift your gaze. Open your heart up toward the top edge of your mat. Exhale, press into your hands, press into your shins, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Come back into a neutral spine position. In your next inhale, tuck your toes under your feet, walk your knees together. And then sickle your feet out wide, your toes out wide. Place your left hand in the center of your mat, right under your sternum. Bring your right hand to the base of your skull so your whole right arm is parallel to the earth. Inhale, squeeze your legs together, lengthen along your spinal column. Exhale, lift your right elbow up toward the stars. Exhale, release it slightly down, maybe a third of the way out of this twist. Inhale, re-engage. Exhale, release slightly out of this twist. Do this 4 more times at your own pace and to the cadence of your own breath. After 6 full rounds, come back to stillness. Release your right hand down to the earth, set up for the other side. Left hand at the base of your skull. Inhale, find length from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Exhale, lift your left elbow up toward the stars. And then just like the other side, cycle through this 5 more times at your own pace into your own breath. Looks really good, you guys. After 6 full rounds of that, release your hands down to the earth. Release your knees. Come back to tabletop. And then inhale, tuck your toes under your feet. Exhale, press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Allow your body to make the movements in your legs that warm your lower body up, whatever that looks like tonight. And find some stillness in your lower body. Take a look at your hands. Index knuckles at 12 o'clock. If you've got a generous fold of flesh at your wrist, walk your hands forward until that fold of flesh goes away. Press your index knuckle and thumb into your earth. Relax your neck. And then tweeze your elbows together like you were squeezing a beach ball between them. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, take as many steps as you need. Come up to the top edge of your mat into ragdoll, uttanasana, or feet hip distance apart, uttanasana. Shift the weight into the balls of your feet, so light in the heels. Do anything you like with your arms, anything that's soothing for your shoulders. Maybe tonight just your fingers dangle down toward the earth. Maybe you grab opposite elbows and sway. But relax your neck. Release your hands down to the earth. Heel toe your feet together. Shift the weight into your heels. And then inhale, halfway lift, a nice flat spine. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet. Circle your arms all the way up over your head. Exhale, slice your hands down into heart center. Take 2 breaths to set an intention for your practice right here. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, tee your arms out to the side. Palms face forward, thumbs reach for the stars. Inhale, flip your palms up. Turn your thumbs back behind you. Lift your gaze, open your heart. Exhale, sweep your fingers forward. Release your chin to your chest, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, right from here, hinge into a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, tap your knees down to the earth. Hands and arms stay shoulder width apart. Come all the way down to your belly. And then on an inhale, open your heart. You can come back to Sphinx. I'm going to choose Easy Cobra here. Yep, looks really good. And I see an up dog here too. That's on the table as well. Perfect. No, you're good. You're good. Any heart opener. These are all interchangeable. Inhale. Exhale, press up and back to downward facing dog. Which also means later in the practice, if I call for up dog, you could also mix in a Sphinx or an Easy Cobra. Mix and match. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, move to the top edge of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, tee your arms out to the side. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Good job, friends. That's it. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale in your high plank. As you exhale, knees up or down, make your way down to your belly, but make the back of your head buoyant. So in line with the back of your heart the whole time. Inhale, open your heart, any heart opener. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, and then walk, step, or float to the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, keep your arms out to the side. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. From your down dog, draw in a life affirming breath, the deepest breath of your day so far today. Hold it at the top. And then as you exhale, open your mouth, make a ha sound. Good, you guys, beautiful. Bend your knees, look forward, and then move to the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, long straight spine, weight in the heels. Hands could be on the thighs. Your back could be up against the wall. Your hands could be a heart center, or your fingers could reach up toward the stars. Scoop your belly button towards your sternum, any amount more. Yep, you guys look really good, all of you. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale, rock forward on your toes. Float your shoulders over your wrists. As you exhale, knees up or down, low plank, come halfway down. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right heel up toward the stars. Exhale, reach it forward, rise up into warrior one. Ground down into all four corners of your right foot, the pinky edge blade of your left foot. Peel your feet apart like you were tearing your mat in two. Any arm variation, front thigh, heart center, warrior one arms, or go post your arms out to the side, make little fists. This is going to be a really repetitive movement tonight. Inhale, draw your shoulder blades together behind you, lift your gaze, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders, join your hands, wrists, forearms, and elbows. Release your chin to your chest. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into goalpost arms. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth, step back into high plank. And then from there, you can press directly into down dog. You could flow through a vinyasa. You could take a break in child's pose. You chart your own course. Back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your left heel skyward. Exhale, step it forward, rise up into warrior one. Any arm variation. This is just one invitation, one of many options to go post your arms out to the side. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into goalpost arms. Exhale, release your hands down to the earth and then chart your own course back to downward facing dog, whatever your body's calling for now. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or float to the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, nice and low for one breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. Inhale in high plank. Exhale, low plank, knees up or down. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right heel up toward the stars. Exhale, reach it forward, rise up into warrior one. This is just transitional this time. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, open up into Virabhadrasana, warrior two. Pinky edge blade of your left foot now parallel with the back edge of your mat. Press your right knee over toward the pinky edge blade of your right foot. Now shift your gaze over the left-hand edge of your mat. The round is going to look different here. Inhale's not light years away. On an inhale, flip your palms up, start to turn your thumbs back behind you, lift your gaze, open your heart. Exhale, this time palms down and then up in the opposite direction, round through your shoulders, release your chin to your chest. That's it, friends. Beautiful. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into warrior two arms. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth, high plank, and then you chart your own course to downward facing dog. You guys stay right where you are. I'm just going to change my position for demonstration purposes. Good. Everybody made choices that honors their body. I love that so much. Inhale, lift your left heel up toward the stars. Exhale, step it forward, rise up into warrior one. One breath to stabilize. And then as you exhale, open up into warrior two. Float your head over your shoulders, over your hips, and then shift your gaze out over the right-hand edge of your mat. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, palms down and then up in the opposite direction, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, round through your shoulders. Inhale, come back into warrior two arms. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth, high plank, and then chart your own course to down dog. On your next inhale, lift your right heel up toward the stars. Exhale, step it forward. Gently tap your left knee down, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Take some time, if your body is asking for it, pat up under your left knee. And then maybe to start, right hand on your right thigh, maybe your left hand covers your right. Engage your left glute, release your hips forward toward that right heel. And then start reaching your left arm forward. Thumb reaches for the stars. And like those fingers are being, like that whole arm is being pulled out of your shoulder socket. Yep, that's it, you guys. Good. I would say so if your right knee starts to come forward to your right ankle, you can walk it forward. I'm just looking for you to get a good psoas stretch in that left hip. Yep, that looks really good. Does it feel okay? All right, friends, we're on your right hand right now. We're going to transition to right forearm. Maintain a long, straight spine. Start to come forward. Release your right arm under your left arm under your left shoulder. Let it completely dangle, lifeless. And then start sweeping the fingers of your left arm forward again. Transition from right forearm to right hand. Feel the fingers of the left hand pulling forward like that arm is pulling out of the shoulder socket again. But this time as you inhale, start to lift it up toward the heavens. Maybe follow it with your gaze. As you exhale, drop your gaze down to the front. Sweep your left arm back behind you. Inhale, lift your left arm, lift your gaze. Exhale, release both the gaze and your arm. Inhale, lift the arm, lift your gaze. Exhale, let them both set. This time your gaze and your left arm rise. Find an apparent pause at the top, and we're going to change directions. Exhale, drop your gaze forward. Sweep your left arm powerfully forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, set. Inhale, rise. Exhale, set. Inhale, rise. Find an apparent pause at the top, and then release your left hand down to the mat or to a block. Grab a block in your right hand as well. Find a modified simple twist with a block in your right hand. So your heart is open up to the right. Now turn that right thumb back behind you like you were hitching a ride. Good. Now an imaginary friend is over by your left hip. Pass the block to her for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Drop both blocks, step back into high plank, and then transition into downward facing dog in whatever way your body's calling for. On an inhale, lift your left heel up toward the heavens. Exhale, step it forward. Low lunge on the second side. Left hand on your left thigh. Maybe right hand covers your left. All the same cues on the other side. Just reverse those here. So right glute is engaged. Maybe release your hips forward toward that left heel. And then start reaching that right arm forward powerfully like you were pulling out of the shoulder socket. When we get to the block toss here, I said pass the block to her. Most of my friends are women. If you want to pass, I don't want to leave the guys out. So your friend, your imaginary friend could be male too. All right, transition from left hand to left forearm. Dangle that left arm lifeless under the shoulder. So Tamasic, zero energy in that whole right arm. You might even visualize if you had any tension in your right shoulder. See that? Feel that tension drizzling and draining down through your arm and out the tips of your fingers into the earth. Transition from the left forearm back to the left hand. Reach the fingers of your right arm forward, powerfully forward. And then on an inhale, start sweeping your right arm up over your head. Follow with your gaze. Exhale, release your gaze forward. Powerfully sweep that right arm back behind you. Inhale, let it rise. Exhale, let both the arm and your gaze set. Inhaling, they rise. Exhale, they set. Inhale, they rise. Find an apparent pause at the top and then change directions. Exhale, gaze forward, right arm sweeps forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, set. Inhale, rise. Exhale, set. Inhale, rise. Find an apparent pause at the top. As you exhale, bring your right hand down to the mat or to a block. Take a block in your left hand. Modified simple twist. Open your heart up to your left. Turn your left thumb back behind you like you were hitching a ride. Good. Now pass the block to your imaginary friend for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Drop both blocks. Bring your hands down to the earth. Step back to high plank. And then transition directly into downward facing dog. Let's do another life affirming breath. From your down dog, draw in a deep, 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 juicy breath. And then open your mouth, let that all go. Good. Good, you guys. Bend your knees, look forward, and then walk, step, or float to the top edge of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, sweep your arms all the way up over your head. I'm going to turn to the side to demonstrate this. Exhale, release your right arm under your left. Maybe start by grabbing opposite shoulders. Open your right hip out to the side. So you could do this as a kickstand leg. So the other option is eagle arms, palm to palm, and wrap your right knee over your left. All right, let's set up a good eagle first. So lift your elbows up to about shoulder height, or as close like as if you could. Press your forearms forward. Now transfer the palms of your left and right hand so they're towards your face. And then wrap your index finger and middle finger, your right hand around your left thumb. Lift your elbows up a little higher again. And then start pulling with your right hand. Draw your left forearm over to the left so it's no longer blocking your vision. So if anybody walked in, it looked like this is a really poorly executed eagle pose, right? But we're doing this with intention. Everybody getting something on the top and outside of the left shoulder? Good, 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 good. It's just an external rotation stretch from a different angle. And on your next inhale, draw your left forearm back up to plumb. Exhale right here. Inhale, release, unwind. Keep your arms up over your head. Exhale, set up for the other side. Left arm under, left leg over. Lift the elbows higher, press the forearms forward. Palms of both hands turn towards your face. Wrap your index finger, middle finger of your left hand around your right thumb. And then gently, 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 with control, start tractioning your whole right forearm off to the right. Maybe lower your seat down toward the earth any amount more. On your next inhale, draw your right forearm back up to center, back to plumb. Exhale right here. Inhale, unwind, sweep your arms up over your head. Exhale, hinge into a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into high plank. And then lower all the way down to your belly. Go post your arms out to the side, both elbows in line with your shoulders, fingers reaching up past the top edge of your mat. On an inhale, start to draw your belly button towards your sternum. Feel your pubic bone root down into the earth. And then as you exhale, lift your whole upper body. Start to draw your shoulder blades together like you were holding a broomstick between them. And breathe, breathing the whole time. If yoga is the union of body and breath, and once we stop breathing, we're no longer practicing yoga. That doesn't mean that what we're doing has no value, but it's just a different practice than what we're doing tonight. Draw your shoulder blades together any amount more. Press your pubic bone down into the earth any amount more. And then slowly with control, lower your heart down to the earth. Rest your right cheek on the mat. Lift your left knee up in the general direction of your left elbow. Half frog. Yep, good, you guys. Draw your left knee back down the line with your right. Shift your gaze back to neutral. Inhale, root your pubic bone. Draw your belly button towards your sternum. Root your pubic bone and down into the earth again. Exhale, lift your whole upper body again. This time, draw your shoulder blades together like you were picking up a pencil with them. right? And so the neck will be engaged, but see if you can keep it neutral. So maybe shift your gaze down to directly below your head, or maybe at most where the top edge of your mat meets the studio floor. Press your pubic bone down more, lift up a little bit more, any amount. And then lower your heart down to the earth. Rest your left cheek on the mat, lift your right knee in the general direction of your right elbow. Lower your right knee down to meet your left. Bring your gaze back to neutral. On an inhale, draw your belly button towards your sternum. Exhale, lift your whole upper body. Draw your shoulder blades together like you were holding a small wire between them. And if you like to lift the legs, you can lift the legs. But I'd like your feet no wider than hip distance apart. I'd like your hips closed, so toes turn down to face the earth. And dorsiflexion in both feet. So flex all 10 toes back towards your face. Lift up any amount higher. And then lower everything down to the earth. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Press yourself up onto your knees. And then side saddle your legs off to the side. Come onto your back. Set up for some bridging. So do a visual confirmation that your feet and knees are hip distance apart. Heels close enough to your seat that you can gently brush them with your fingers. Interlace the fingers of both hands. Lots of slack in your arms, but have your palms face the sky. Yep, good, you guys, just like that. Inhale, scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Feel your lower back press into the earth. Exhale, press into your feet. Lift your thighs, lift your hips, and then lengthen your arms out. Now, I know literally you can only reach your arms out the full length of your arms, but I'd like you to press the palms of your hands up like you could press them up 2 inches past the ceiling. Right, back to your legs. Shift the weight into your heels. And press your kneecaps forward toward the top edge of your mat. Lengthen out your arms more, so maybe another inch past the ceiling. Continue to breathe. All right, leave the heels of your hands up past the ceiling in the room you're in, but one vertebrae at a time, lower down out of that bridge. Good, you guys. Once your whole spine is on the earth, put lots of slack in your arms, but leave the fingers interlaced and facing the sky. One breath. Inhale, scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Exhale, press into your heels. Lift your thighs, lift your hips. Lengthen your arms out. Press the heels of your hands up 4 inches past the roof line of the building. And the weight's in your heels. You're pressing your knees forward. Keep doing that. Can you also press your chest back towards your chin by 3/4 of an inch? And breathe. Right, leave the heels of your hands up past the roof line, but slowly, deliberately, with control, lower down out of the bridge. And then once your whole spine is on the earth, lots of slack in your arms again, one full round of breath. Inhale, scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Exhale, press into your feet, lift your thighs, lift your hips, lengthen through your arms, press the heels of your hands up as if you were gonna push the moon. Just a little bit, a little push, just changing its position in space ever so slightly. Continue to breathe. Press into your heels, any amount more. Give that moon one last little press. And then leave the heels of your hands on the moon. Slowly, deliberately, with control, lower all the way down. And then release your arms. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let gravity draw your knees down toward the earth. Maybe place blocks under your knees or thighs. Yep, I like that, guys. Take your hands to the outside of your thighs. Draw your knees back up so the kneecaps are pointed toward the stars. And then hook the pinky edge blade of your right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Thread the needle. Option 1, press the heel of your right hand on your right inner thigh and straighten your right arm. And if that is all the sensation you could possibly want in your hip, you're home. Stay right here. Otherwise, look between your legs. You've made this little triangle shape. Thread your right hand into that triangle. Lift your left foot. Flex all 10 toes. Push your right knee forward toward the top edge of your mat. Pull your left knee in towards your chin. Right, and if this is a little hack, if you want to get into the glute medius in the deep six lateral hip rotators on the outside of your right hip, if you rock a little bit over onto your left hip point, once in a while I find a sweet spot there that really gets into that glute med like almost nothing else I know. And then release your thread the needle. Release the sole of your left foot back down to the earth. Release your right foot, and we're going to change sides. Hook the pinky edge blade of your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. Maybe heel of your left hand presses that left inner thigh forward. Maybe you thread your left hand into that triangle and find that push-pull principle here. Release that thread the needle. Release your left foot down to the earth. Take a full body stretch and then roll over onto your belly. Keep your arms reaching out over your head like Superwoman. Lengthen your legs long. On an inhale, scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Feel your pubic bone root into the earth again. Exhale, lift your both hands up off the earth. Press the back of your hands, the backs of your arms up toward the stars. So you could lift the neck as long as the neck is neutral. You could lift the forehead. You could also keep your forehead rooted down onto the earth. Either way is good. But lift the backs of your hands any amount higher up toward the stars. And slowly, deliberately, with control, throw your arms. One round of breath. Inhale, scoop your belly button towards your sternum. Exhale, lift your hands, lift your arms. Press both arms up toward the heavens. Continue to breathe. And then lower both arms down to the earth. Great job. Tee your arms out to the side again. Elbows in line with your shoulders. Fingers pointing past the top edge of your mat. We're just going to do one of these. On an inhale, scoop your belly button toward your sternum. Exhale, lift just your hands up off the mat. For now, wrists, forearms, and elbows stay rooted on the earth. Right now, start to lift your hands and your wrists. Now, hands, wrists, and forearms. Elbows stay rooted down on the earth. And now you can start to lift the elbows up. Draw your shoulder blades together, again, like you were holding a broomstick. And then when we transition out, release just your elbows down to the earth. Forearms, wrists, hands stay lifted. Lower everything down to the mat. Good job. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Press yourself up onto your knees. And let's take a few breaths in heart bench. So place one block on the mat so that at the medium height, so that the long edge of the mat, the long edge of the block is parallel to the long edge of your mat. A second block, maybe starting at the highest height, 4 or 5 inches behind that. And then set like bra strap level. We're looking for T12 vertebrae, but the bra strap is as good a landmark as any. Lower your whole spine down onto the mat. Maybe release your head on the block. Tee your arms out to the side. You can do anything you like with your legs. Butterfly legs, bound angle, soles of your feet on the earth, legs long, totally up to you. All right, friends, just gently roll off to the side, remove your blocks. Place the sole of your left foot on the far left-hand edge of your mat. Hook the pinky edge blade of your right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Then drop both knees over to the right. If you want a little bit more of a twisting sensation here, you could shift your gaze out over the fingers of your left hand. Yep, just right, friends, perfect. Draw your knees back up to center. When you release your right foot, release it wide, far right hand edge of your mat. Hook the pinky edge blade of your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. Drop both knees over to your left. Friends, when we transition next, we're going to transition to our final resting shape. What's most important to me is that you take the pose that your body is calling for. But I'm going to offer you a suggestion. If you're shopping around and you don't have a firm decision, but if you know already what your body wants, then just go to that. Ignore everything else I say. Lift your knees back up to center. Release your left foot down to the earth. Set up for any final resting shape. And once again, if you're shopping around, this is just one option, but it does support the work that we did tonight. Take 2 blocks at the lowest height, shoulder width apart, close to the top edge of your mat. And then come onto your belly with the tops of your shoulders roughly at the top edges of the mat, hands down by the waist, palms facing the sky, and rest either your forehead or either cheek on the mat. Let the whole weight of your body slide down toward the earth. So if you think about it, this is sort of our heart bench, but it's from just the opposite direction. Start to draw some deeper breaths. And maybe begin to reanimate your body by making very small movements, maybe little things like wiggling your fingers or your toes. And if your body wants more movement, you can go bigger anytime you like. That could be rotating your hands at the wrist, your feet at the ankles. It could be putting a bend in your knees and dropping your ankles off from side to side. Or maybe a full body stretch. So if you're on your belly and you want to do a full body stretch, swim your arms forward, come up onto the tips of your fingers like you were protecting the most precious cupcakes in the whole world. Tuck your toes under your feet and then use your fingertips to walk the upper part of your spine forward toward the back edge of your mat. With your toes tucked, press your heels toward the back edge of your mat to lengthen the lower part of your spine. Yep, just like that, friends. And then roll over onto either side. Find a fetal position, a child sleeping pose. And I'll ask you to take 3 or 4 breaths. Just check in, notice how your body's feeling. In particular, the upper part of your back and shoulders, and just notice if you were able to open up some space for yourself there. And then press yourself up into a seated position, any seated position. I'd like your eyes to be soft, but they could be softly open or softly closed. And you could do anything you like with your hands. Thank you, dear friends, for moving and breathing with me. It's always a pleasure. And I'm always honored that you trust me to guide you through your practice. If it feels safe and comfortable, draw your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows. Blessings to you and your family. And that concludes our practice for tonight. Friends, again, I'm Chris. I'm from Transformation Nation Yoga and Wellness. And this was our Stability Meets Mobility shoulder sequence. You're doing great. Keep going.